Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Santa Clarita In-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio,
on your hometown station AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of seniors, our first guest this morning is Mary Dembkowski of Oakmont of Santa Clarita. Yes, I got it right. And then later in the hour, we will be speaking with Nola Aronson of Advanced Audiology. Mary, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting us be a part of the show today.
Great. So typically and usually, Oakmont it's assisted living, and it's a place for our seniors to have an option to be able to continue living, having quality of life. And
yes,
your recent opening has allowed that to happen here.
Yes, it has, and we're very excited. It's actually almost 3 months since we opened our doors. It has gone by very quickly, but we have very happy residents, and we've still got some openings, but we've got about close to 80 people living with us now, and in both our assisted living and memory care communities, and it's just been wonderful.
That's wonderful. And you also allow pets, don't you?
Yes.
And that is so critical.
I know that's important to you, Barbara.
Oh, yes, it is.
Raccoons especially.
Raccoons, yeah. We haven't had a raccoon yet. We just have the typical dogs and cats. And, of course, our birds in our memory care, we have a bird aviary, so that's pretty special as well.
Wasn't he called Bandit?
Yeah, Bandit. You've never lived until you have
a raccoon.
A pet raccoon. Absolutely.
I don't know. I can't imagine. But
they're absolutely incredible animals. Absolutely. So smart. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness, they're smart. And I was looking out my back door the other night, and there were 2 of them in the backyard.
Oh. You sure it wasn't Bandit?
I'm positive it wasn't Bandit. I know. That was been many years ago. No. We had to put her in a
assisted living?
Yes. You're too funny. Well, yes. She was assisted because she had other little bandits. She had other bandits there with her.
She had her own pets.
Yes,
pretty good.
Did.
But so you'll be good moving over to Oakmont. Just don't bring Bandit.
Yeah.
I wish I could have another one just like her, but
be interesting to see how the dogs would react to that.
Or how about the cats? I wonder.
Cats.
I think
the cats are mainly the cats are mainly in the apartments. They're indoor cats, so but we have the beautiful pet park, so our dogs can run around freely out there, and I don't know what they would do.
No leash?
Yeah, it's a fenced-in area that has this special artificial pet grass. So the residents, there's benches there, so the residents can sit down. They can let their dogs off the leash, and they can run around and get their exercise.
Do you have to, pick up after your
Yes, we do ask
that
they pick up after. Yes.
Okay. Just
well,
sure.
most people, when you see them walking their dogs, they've got the traditional plastic bag in their hands.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's the way it should be. There are some people who don't do that, though. And
when you find that out the hard way sometimes.
No, I always mention it to them if I ever see them walking by the house.
After you've stepped
And if I see a dog attempting to go on I run out there quick. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
On my lawn.
I've said to a couple of the guys, I said, how are you going to pick that up off my lawn? Are you going to use your hands? And they look at me like, oh, lady, you're crazy. But, that's common courtesy.
I would say, here, let me get you a bag.
Not in my backyard, right?
Not in my front yard.
Not in your front yard. Okay, you're a nymphy.
The bandits can poop in my backyard.
Nymphy.
The raccoons poop in the backyard.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yes.
You clean up after them?
I absolutely do.
Oh, good.
I don't want to step in it in my backyard. Are you kidding?
That would be a surprise, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
What is the stuff on my shoe?
No, Ginger was sitting on it was almost...
Ginger is your...
She's one of our cats. Yeah. And she's the one who likes to fight with the raccoons.
Oh, my goodness.
They'll come in the backyard, even broad daylight. they've been there. And she goes tearing into the bushes, and I think, what's going on? She's chasing a raccoon. Pretty soon, here it comes out and up
Climbs
the
up
tree.
the tree?
Yeah.
Wow.
She sounds pretty fearless.
She is. Unfortunately, she is. But I caught her in time when I was
Those
sitting at
raccoons
my
are pretty
dining-
tough, too,
Oh,
though,
they're
right?
vicious, too.
Yeah.
They can be vicious. Absolutely.
Ginger has to put on her boxing paws to defend herself.
I don't let her get that far, believe me. Because if a raccoon got hold of her, it would literally tear her to pieces.
Yeah.
They are very vicious animals.
Yeah, they have to defend
Amazing.
themselves. They're wild creatures.
That's true. And then all of a sudden you find those, what do you call them? The ones with the long snout.
Oh, the possums. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom has possums.
Find an opossum and a raccoon. Oh my goodness, a fight like you would not believe.
Wow.
I heard them one night, late at night, outside my bedroom window, and we have a back light out there. And I thought, holy Hannah, what's going on out there? Well, I got out of bed and lifted the one of the slats, and there was an opossum and a raccoon scratching each other and screaming and carry on. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm surprised you haven't had raccoons
They're all
on
over
your
the
property.
place.
Yeah, we actually haven't had any raccoons, but we have a beautiful, I think it's called a heron.
Oh,
A white bird.
beautiful.
And we have the outdoor dining patio that overlooks Magic Mountain. And one day I was taking a family through, and there it was, just sitting right there outside that
Oh, wow.
the dining room patio. I had to do a double take. I didn't
So
know what I thought it was
elegant.
fake at first, and then it started to move, and it's just beautiful, and it kind of visits us every now and then.
Oh, how neat.
So it's really, really neat.
We have vultures here, too. We do.
Vultures.
Yeah, some of
Oh,
my
yes.
patients have had
Wow.
over near the freeway, they have vultures. Like 3 or 4 of them will congregate.
Oh my goodness.
It's wild. Probably looking for ginger.
And and then you have the what are they? Those monstrous birds that come
Condor?
swooping down.
Oh, those are-
and they'll grab
Yeah.
a bird off
yeah.
our bird feeder.
Oh,
And
wow.
and you hear this poor little bird, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden nothing.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart.
Survival of the fittest.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. They do.
Right.
Have you had any coyotes over there?
None that we've seen, so that's a good thing. Haven't seen any coyotes. Haven't seen any other wildlife other than that heron.
Interesting. I would think you would have more wildlife around
Yeah,
there.
maybe at night.
Yeah.
There's
Probably
more
is.
coyotes, and
Yeah.
of course I'm not there in the
Yeah, we all
in the
have coyotes,
evening.
too.
Oh yes.
You know, you see them prancing up and down the street. And,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
you know, all over Santa
And they're
Clarita.
fearless.
Exactly.
They don't get out of the way of the cars either.
No, well,
The
they're-
cars have to go around them.
But they
I've
own the
seen it.
block.
Yeah.
This is my block, this is my territory.
That's right.
We had
They-
one come into our backyard. It was a year ago, December, and got our cat. But I heard it and I reacted right away and was able to scare him off. And cat had surgery and he's just fine today. But it was
Yeah,
scary.
that's pretty scary.
Yes.
That's
yes.
why our cats are indoor cats
Yeah.
unless I'm out there
And
with
he
them.
only goes out in the morning for about 10 minutes. He just likes to sit out on the patio. And that coyote came over our wall and was like 8 feet from my back door.
Wow.
So, yeah, we learned a lesson that day.
Oh, yes.
But, it's a great place to live. The quality of life is just super. But, you're also, Oakmont is also involved in many different community activities that are going on and related a lot to our seniors
To
who are living in
seniors.
their facility.
Definitely, it's very important to us to provide education for our residents, and not only our residents but seniors in the community. So we do have an event coming up next Friday, April 15th, and it's a senior health and wellness fair. And we actually are partnering with the American Diabetes Association, and they have been wonderful. They are bringing in to the community that day free health screenings. They're going to be doing cooking and exercise demos. We're going to have diabetes workshops. They're doing giveaways. They're going to provide lunch, and this is free to the public. And it goes on next Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
That's on the 15th.
Yes.
Great. So that, and you have other things that you're involved with also, Mary.
Of course, because we have residents that live in our community that have Alzheimer's, dementia in our memory care community, we feel very strongly about providing a support group. So we have an Alzheimer's support group. We meet the third Thursday of every month at 6:30 p.m. at the community, and it is for those caring with loved ones that are affected by Alzheimer's or dementia, whether it be a spouse or a child or a friend. And I've been facilitating this support group for about 8 years now. And we just feel it's very important for those going on this difficult journey to have a place where they can come and share and be supported. So our support group is very, very strong and active at Oakmont. And of course, the Alzheimer's Walk coming up. That's a few months out, but that's in October. The Walk to End Alzheimer's, sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association, and Oakmont is a sponsor, as well as we have a team, and we walk that day, and we help raise funds for the Alzheimer's Association. We have a great committee out here in Santa Clarita. A lot of people that are involved in this important cause.
Well, now, exactly what goes on in an Alzheimer's support group, and what is the size of it?
Sure. I mean, to be effective, you want to have the group be, no more than 15, 20 maximum. And the reason for that is you want everyone to have that opportunity to share what's going on. So basically, when we meet once a month, we let everyone share maybe what has happened in the previous month, what their challenges are, what do they feel they need help with. And we have people in the group that have loved ones that are in the early stages. We have other people in the group that are a little further along. And then we have people like myself who have gone through the journey and have actually lost a parent to Alzheimer's. So we feel that we can all be of support to one another. So people in the early stages, usually tend to need a lot of support because they're fearful about what's to come, and they're having these experiences that they haven't dealt with before. So being able to share that in a group with people that have gone through it and can give suggestions, this is what I found worked in that situation, maybe you can try that. And it just gives people a safe place to vent and feel that they're supported and they have something in common. Because if you have never gone through that journey, you can try and be supportive, but if you haven't gone through it yourself, sometimes it's not that easy. But when you're around people that are in the midst of it or have gone through it, they can be a great support to each other.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of people, even our listeners, are waiting for that magic pill to evolve and be developed, and they think, oh yeah, I know it's happening, but it's not a problem now, and maybe they'll have a cure tomorrow. And this has actually been going on for not just decades, and probably not for the hundreds of years, but for millenniums.
Yes.
And it's one of the frontiers that we are facing and recognizing now, because we're solving all the other medical problems that used to take us. Now those who are living through those are getting memory problems. And we can't fool ourselves, though. We can't allow ourselves to think that, tomorrow it will be better.
Exactly.
Because if you do that, your loved one will suffer.
Right.
And you have to anticipate those needs as a relative and a caregiver to make sure those individuals are taken care of in the right way, because things obviously can go wrong in many different ways.
But how? I do not understand how they could find a cure for Alzheimer's.
Well, they have
because it's some of it is genetically based. I don't know whether it's inherited or not, but the tendency would certainly be to inherit. So how how could you find a cure for it?
Right.
Unless you
That's our
are
dilemma.
born again, you know.
That is clearly our dilemma. I mean, if there was one particular thing that was contributing more than anything else, let's say a vascular problem with diminished circulation. I mean, I had a patient who she was having memory problems, and but this is the only patient where it happened, where I did a study, an ultrasound study of her neck, and she had a lot of occlusion, and we did do a surgery on her, and her memory came back to normal. But that's the only time that has really ever happened. But let's say we find on a different level, at a different place, that there are vascular problems doing it, and we find a medication that dissolves these occlusions in a smaller level other than carotid, maybe we'll see some impact.
Exactly.
Well, that could
but,
be.
right now, I think we're far from it. So those who are listening, who are anticipating the cure tomorrow, don't. Come to the support group meeting on the third Thursday of every month.
Yes,
I mean,
at 6:30 p.m.
Maybe you'll see the heron there. That'll be great. Maybe even a raccoon. Hopefully not a mountain lion. But it's a good time to start getting involved with your loved one's life, because their quality of life is going to be dependent on what you know about Alzheimer's.
Exactly. And, and I often get asked the question, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's? And a lot of times people don't really even understand that, Alzheimer's is a disease, that causes dementia, the symptoms of dementia, and, just getting educated on what the difference is. And, like you shared with your patient, I mean, when there's memory loss and you eliminate pretty much everything else, oftentimes it comes down to, well, it looks like this is probably Alzheimer's disease, because we can't find anything else that's causing this memory loss. And so, that can be very devastating to families, because they know that, well, there is no cure. So how am I going to get through this? And it's really just, educating yourself, making sure you're taking care of yourself, and, being able to best help your loved one by, again, education and having that support.
Well, it's interesting, too, because as we get older, our memory does diminish.
Sure.
I mean, I think that's normal in the everyday living as you get older.
Yeah, I look at it in a different way. I look at it that we're accumulating so many things in our brain, some of it just starts to fall out. And that's why we can't remember. That's the way I try to...
I think you're right.
I think that we're not really losing anything. We just got so much going that we got to let some slide out of our left ear.
Or out of our right ear, or both ears.
But, so often, as Mary was talking about, people do have sometimes medical problems. Sometimes they have metabolic problems. Sometimes they have diabetes or kidney disease or liver disease that's causing the problem, and we're not totally aware of it. Sometimes it's an infectious etiology. You can have occult kidney stones that are causing you seeding infection on a daily basis that's keeping somebody's memory. We talked about the vascular problems, and depression
Absolutely.
plays a role. Sometimes people, just because of life and the way the direction they're moving, go, I don't like this, and they kind of pull themselves in, get there in their little corner, and they're done with it.
Right. Exactly.
But that's not what occurs at Oakmont. You don't let your residents crawl into a corner.
No,
we, especially in our memory care community called Traditions, we have engaging activities going on just about every 30 minutes, and it can be anything from music to doing a mind game with them, or taking them on a walk, or yesterday they went out to lunch to Claim Jumpers and had a lovely time. So we want to give them everything that they deserve. We want to keep them active, because if we can keep them them engaged and active, they're less likely to get depressed, they're less
That's
likely
right.
to get agitated, and of course, a lot of TLC, for sure.
And being depressed is one of the most debilitating things that
Yes.
can happen to anyone.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't take much.
Right.
It
And
really
Alzheimer's and
doesn't.
depression sometimes go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of diseases that seniors get that causes depression. Goes hand in hand.
Right. Yes.
It really does. And
yes.
it's such a shame.
Right.
Well, Mary, time has slipped away,
has.
hasn't it?
Well, we've gotten the whole
Unbelievable.
gamut.
Yes,
From
we
pets to, taking care of memory problems. And this is
Yep.
what you guys are known for.
Right.
Taking
Yeah.
care of people and assuring that their quality of life is enhanced.
Yes.
Good
That's
for
right.
you.
That's right. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming
Thank
by,
you so much
Mary.
for having me.
Yes.
And your
All
phone
right,
number,
and-
just so in case
Yes.
some people want to get a hold of you for getting to that
support group or support group or learning about any of the other events that we have at our community, the diabetic senior health and wellness fair. You can call us at 661-295-2025, and that's Oakmont of Santa Clarita.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mary.
you.
And we look forward to your next visit.
Okay, thank you very much.
Wonderful. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.